Hey everyone, welcome to Primary Market Chatter brought to you by Sunday Investing. This is our July 1st week edition. We are starting on a happy note because we complete 1 year today. Like हमने last time July 1st week में पहली बार episode किया था. I remember we had covered MCure and Bansal wires. So it's almost like 1 year into this. So very happy feeling to have completed 1 year doing spaces. Having said that, I see a comment as well and want to highlight that Tanmay won't be joining the space, so it would be Yash, me, and Rohit today who will be doing the episode per se. We'll be covering 6 companies today, and there would be a few which would be left. Maybe we will not be able to cover them today, but post our verdict closer to the date as IPO comes through. Having said that, just want to start with a few informations which you already know, but still want to highlight. We are not SEBI registered research analysts, so none of our opinion needs to be taken as qualified. हमारा ओपिनियन क्वालिफाइड नहीं है. यू डेफिनेटली डू योर ओन ड्यू डिलिजेंस. आप अपना ड्यू डिलिजेंस खुद करें एंड उसके बेसिस पे ओपिनियन बनाएं. दिस कैन ओनली बी यूज्ड एज अ way to substantiate or even don't do that. Just do what you want to do. This is more of just friends talking to be able to figure out what they are planning to do with their IPO strategy. तो ये उनके लिए strategy है. तो आप you do you is what I will kind of mention. Second thing again, if you haven't joined our YouTube, please go ahead and do that. आज मैंने एक प्रीमियम पे वीडियो भी डाला है with respect to OFS. So if you are a premium member, go ahead and watch that as well. I feel guilty at times of not putting enough on premium channel, but we'll try and cover up for it. The idea as of now remains that we will continue to do our space of IPO reviews free for some period of time. We'll move to a freemium model sometime in the future. We have actively started exploring it. But all learning material is premium as of now. So where we feel that we are adding some value, there we continue to post it in premium. We'll just try and do it more. That's the idea, but we are also just want to candidly say that we are also exploring some ideas in order to compensate for all the effort that we have been putting in. So fair warning, or consider yourself told that there will be a few changes as and when we move through. But for now, nothing changes. Having said that, let me just quickly set up what we are planning to do today. Today, आज हम 6 कंपनीज की बात करेंगे. जब मैंने ये स्पेस का आइकन बनाया था तो उस वक्त जो हमें कंपनीज काफी अच्छी लग रही थी और जो अब अच्छी लग रही है उसमें थोड़ा चेंज है, इसलिए हमने बाद में कंपनीज ऐड एंड सपरेट भी किए हैं. सो आज हम 6 कंपनीज की बात करेंगे. इंडो गल्फ करके एक मेन बोर्ड है, उसकी बात करेंगे एंड देन 5 एसएमईज की बात करेंगे. कल 3 एसएमईज क्लोज हो रही हैं, उनमें से प्रो एफएक्स टेक, उसके बाद मूविंग मीडिया एंड ए सल्फा की बात नहीं करेंगे क्योंकि ए सल्फा हमें थोड़ी कम समझ में आई, बट दैट्स द रिव्यू ऑन दैट. बट या वील कवर प्रो एफएक्स टेक एंड moving media, and then we will cover Neetu Yoshi and Adcounty, which is closing day after tomorrow, and then we'll also cover Pushpa Jewelers, which is closing on Wednesday. That's the order. In terms of order, we'll probably start with ProFX Tech, then move to moving media, and then do the other like Mainboard, Indogulf, and then finish up on the 3 SMEs. Having said that, I understand abhi bhi market is still trying to figure out 3 big listings this week. Ellenbury is getting listed, Kaltaru is getting listed, HDB is getting listed, Sambhav is getting listed. So big globe civil, I'm not sure how much, but at least the GMP people are excited about. So good listings this week, so market's still trying to phase it in, but our job is to continue with the next week's IPOs. And काफी कल challenge रहेगा कि कौन सा IPO लगाना है, because as I can see, Indogulf also has a decent GMP और उसमें है तो छोटा but main board है तो chances रहेंगे. But उसके अलावा I like a few SMEs as well जिनकी अब हम बात करेंगे. So let's get into the episode. Maybe I will start. We'll first start with ProFX Tech. Setting up ProFX Tech. Incorporated in 2006, the company distributes AV products like amplifiers, processors, turntables, audio streamers, speakers, subwoofers, etc. It also designs custom AV solutions for home theaters, automation, multi-room audio, and corporate clients. तो कुछ AV ऑडियो वीडियो के रिलेटेड काम करती है, साउंड प्रूफिंग एंड आई डोंट नो लाइक दिस इज व्हाट केम टू माय माइंड. एनवायरोटेक मुझे याद आया, बट रोहित सेड दैट दिस इज नॉट रिलेटेड टू एनवायरोटेक. We'll understand when he covers that. Just setting up the IPO, it's a 40 CR IPO. 40 crore company raise कर रही है at a market cap of 152 crores. So company is diluting like close to 26-28%, the bare minimum. In terms of FY25 के फाइनेंशियल्स की बात करूं तो इनने 130 करोड़ का रेवेन्यू किया है, टॉप लाइन की है, और 12.25 करोड़ का बॉटम लाइन किया है. सो अगर आप पी वाइज देखोगे तो कंपनी अराउंड 12 पीई पे आ रही है, 12 to 13 पी. सो डिसेंटली प्राइस लग रही है, बट एक बार समझेंगे ग्रोथ प्लान्स वगैरह क्या है. अगर एलएम की बात करूं तो एलएम हेम सिक्योरिटीज है, which is a decentish, good LM. So maybe with that, I will move over to Rohit to talk about ProFX while I try and see where is Yash. Over to you, Rohit.
Thanks, Manish. So I'll cover ProFX quickly only, but there are a couple of reasons why I find this somewhat interesting and can be a bit of a dark horse. So this company is coming to raise 38 crore. This is mainly to fund some capex and working capital for this new capex. And as Manish said, this is a HEM issue. So what do? They are a premium audiovisual distributor for many international brands. So these are brands like Polk, KEF, JBL has a brand called Revel, Denon. If you go to their website, you'll find some 10 brands in total. And these will be products like speakers, woofers, sound bars. But this is probably not the stuff that when you go to Amazon and you want to buy a speaker, you're probably buying a 2,000, 3,000 rupee speaker. This will be these full sound systems, these large speaker sets, like the prices will range from 50K to 3 lakhs. So this is for the, high-end audiophile or, like say the HNI, Ultra HNI crowd, and not what you would normally buy on an Amazon. These guys operate in two ways. One is they're a distributor to several retailers and dealers pan India. This is 70% of their business. And the second is they operate in a more personal retail, corporate, home automation kind of model. So think of it as, let's say there is a customer who wants to set up a home theater in his house that is getting constructed. And that requires a lot of customization and needs to be done sort of, from scratch. You have to design it and then, make sure you're doing all the wiring and making sure it fits the sound structure of that room. Depending on the room, you don't want it to echo and so on, right? So there's a little bit of a custom angle to it. That I would say makes up about 30% of that business. And a small part of that is what they call home automation, which is where you kind of automate the entire house itself, not just the audio-visual part, but, maybe the lighting and the locks and all of that too. One more part of this is they also do a lot of corporate stuff. So think of setting up a corporate boardroom, again, from an audio-visual standpoint, the display, the sound, the speakers, and so on. So these two things make up their business. So 70% is this distribution, and 30% is taking these products and actually adding a layer of service and customization to these same products. They have 6 showrooms. Showrooms are basically places where they display products, and 2 experience centers. Experience centers, think of it like almost like a home theater setup where you'll sit and you'll get that entire amazing audio experience, which will obviously help in converting people to actually buy. They also have a very strong service and technical network, including, because these are premium products, you need to make sure that the brand is explained well, the product is explained well. So they also need to make sure that dealers for this product are able to, when they sell it forward, able to, explain this product well to the final consumer. So they have this as a process set up very well across 28 cities in India, from my understanding. So one of the problems is this is definitely a very niche premium market. I think people are liking this whole discretionary spend angle, slightly premium spend angle these days, but somehow I feel this is above even that. This is not what your average, your upper middle class Indian will buy. This feels like it's one step even above that. So I don't know. Let's see how the market values it. They're using the IPO funds to expand 3 more showrooms, including one in Delhi. They're largely present in South India if you look at their physical presence. But they're using this to expand 2 more in South India and 1 in Delhi as well. And along with that showroom, they also need to fund the inventory. Last year, they did about 130 crore, as Manish said, 12 crore PAT, which is very healthy for a distributor. So normal B2B business will not have a 9% PAT. And this is a consistent, even last year, they had a fairly high PAT margin. So it's not a one-off. This one is due to the fact that these are premium brands. Plus, I think there's that service component that I was explaining on their retail and corporate biz. One interesting thing with new RHPs these days, especially those that have working capital, is they kind of just tell you the revenue number for next year. So there's a statement that says that they are projecting their revenue to go from 130 crore to 160 crore next year. You don't even have to back calculate it. That's a 25% growth. Maybe not that exciting for SME investors. But anyway, I'll come to why I still think this is interesting. The cash flows are also decent. It's positive. It's coming pretty cheap, 12.5 times. Is not very expensive. So why is this interesting to me, or what triggered my interest here is basically the promoter and promoter group is quite interesting. So firstly, the main guy, Mr. Ganesh, Manmohan Ganesh, he looks like a really sorted guy. I couldn't find any interviews on the IPO, but there is a 5-month-old podcast that he's done where when you listen to him, you know this guy is very sorted. He understands the business. He knows what he's doing. He's a veteran in the consumer electronics industry, and he is the ex-COO of BPL. BPL Technologies is one of the OG electronics companies in India, found in the 1960s by Mr. Nambiar. And I think in the late 90s, most of us probably had a BPL television. So that same BPL is involved or related to this group, which is what I found somewhat interesting. So if you look at the shareholding, so this promoter, Mr. Ganesh, has 30%. Shreya Nambiar has another 30%. This is the granddaughter of Mr. Nambiar, who founded BPL. And then the other 30% is held by Jupiter Capital, which is again related to BPL only, found by Rajiv Chandrasekhar, who I think is the son-in-law of that guy, of the BPL co-founder. And Jupiter Capital, when this Rajiv Chandrasekhar sold his stake in BPL, he set up Jupiter Capital as an as an investing company. So this Jupiter Capital has several other companies where they have very large shareholding, including Axis Cades, which is where I think they're 60% owners of Axis Cades, which is a very hot defense company, trades at 7,000-8,000 crore market cap. So if this company is going to move, I think it will move on the strength of the promoter group, that pedigree. It is not coming expensive in my view. And the anchor book was a mix of flippers and a couple of interesting rarer names. So this is for risk takers. I just found that this promoter and the promoter group will probably get a premium. They will probably figure out how to list this well. So my gut says that this will actually do okay on listing. And I don't see this running. Little bit of EMA Partners vibe where company look good, but I feel here the backing is a lot stronger. And so in my view, depending on how it goes tomorrow, if anyone, or if I am going to take a risk in a zero GMP company, it will be this one. It's also coming from him. So generally they at least bring good companies. So for me, this is one where a bet can be taken if someone wants to take a risk. Like if it doesn't do well, just be warned. Like you please study this company, but I like it just enough to probably take a chance.
Got it. जैसे ही आपने एक्सरसाइज बोला, यश के कान खड़े हो गए कि भाई कौन सी कंपनी.
Axis can see it is the Jupiter Capital. You have to remember is still at the end of the day like a PE firm, so they are not involved at an operating level. So they will have investments in multiple companies. It's just that Jupiter Capital also, you can't say it hived off from BPL, but this guy took his BPL money and set up this fund, and there is a clear link and correlation because he's also funded other BPL wale promoters and family car groups. So there's a link. That's all I'd say. It's not like there's direct. Yeah. Then they're not operating. They're not like operating promoters in both of these companies.
Got it. So we are talking about ProFX Tech right now. There's a question, which IPO are we talking about? Having said that, Rohit, my question is this a B2B play? Is this a B2C play? Is it a mix where our distributors coming in per se, like difficult? And so you yourself agree, right? This is a very niche segment end of the day. Plus the advent of Chinese tech coming in, things becoming cheaper, becoming like less durable. So You're just changing your electronics a lot more faster, right? Like if anything, it is becoming FMCE, fast moving consumer electronics, right? So how does
Yeah,
this
it's
brand
like,
stand out?
yeah, I mean, it's like saying that you will have a very cheap car, but a BMW or a Mercedes will remain BMW Mercedes. Now, of course, this company doesn't make BMW Mercedes. They sell the BMW Mercedes of the AV world by importing it and by being the distributor for these global premium brands in India. So I don't think there is a risk with a Bolt or a whatever other low cost. I mean, I don't think the markets are similar at all. There will be zero overlap between someone who buys a Bolt and someone who buys the products that this company sells. So I don't think that risk is there. Chinese cheap mal risk is not there. They are a mix of B2B and B2C. Like I said, about 70% is just distributor led, which is they take this product and then they sell it forward to dealers who then sell it to the end this thing end consumer. But ultimately, these guys are the ones who set up the service network for those products. If there's any issue, they only have to solve it. So even the dealer is not going to sell it forward unless he's sure that the customers will get taken care of if there is a problem. And these guys also do a lot of the hand holding around the product and the product information and so on, right? These are again premium products. You don't just click and buy a 3 lakh speaker on Amazon. You actually want to go listen to it first. You want to see the product, feel comfortable, and then you buy. So it's a very offline kind of model. So I think they're quite different. I think the main thing is the market size itself is not going to be massive. It is still ultra niche. It's like that, top 0.1% of Indians probably buy and use these kind of products. So today, if they're doing 130 crore, maybe the entire market size for this is like 1,000 crore in India. So that is probably the concern. But I don't think they're super protected from any of the cheap stuff and the low cost things.
Got it. Very helpful. I would also probably apply to this issue a few retail lots with the only aim of selling it. I don't intend to like hold it long simply because of the 25% growth somehow doesn't excite enough. Plus, like there are just too many companies to be able to care about, and the segment in which this company is coming somehow doesn't interest me enough. But that is what I am also planning to do. Thank you so much for covering the review. I think that was exhaustive. With that, we can move to the second company, जो कल एक और SME close हो रहा है. That is the company which we will be now talking about is Moving Media Limited. So just setting up the company quickly, Moving Media Entertainment. Incorporated in 2022, the company rents cameras and lens equipments to media and entertainment industry. It offers a wide selection of high quality gears on a returnable basis, enabling filmmakers and production houses to access professional equipments without outright purchase. सो बेसिकली कंपनी कैमरास रेंट करती है और प्रोडक्शन हाउसेस को. आईपीओ की बात करूं तो 43.4 करोड़ का आईपीओ है, ऑल ऑफ विच इज अ फ्रेश इशू. कंपनी 43 करोड़ रेज कर रही है एट अ मार्केट कैप ऑफ 132 करोड़. सो दे आर डाइल्यूटिंग लाइक गुड 32%, स्लाइटली हायर देन द मिनिमम रिक्वायर्ड पर से. अगर फाइनेंशियल्स की बात करूं तो कंपनी का रेवेन्यू 37 करोड़ है, पैट 10.5 करोड़ है. सो 10.5 करोड़ का कंपनी पैट करती है, सो इट्स कमिंग एट लाइक 13 पी. In terms of the LM is Greatex Corporate Services, which has a slight hit and miss record. Like, I remember Paramount had Greatex, and we had kind of liked the company, still do, but that didn't ever get market appreciation as such. But yeah, that's the LM. So just talking about the company, Moving Media Entertainment. Again, when I first read about the business, I was pretty negative. I'll just start with that, saying कि company cameras rent करती है, तो like what's the moat? अगर camera rent ही करना है और उस पे rental ही कमाना है, तो I might as well do it. Like anyone who has a decent cent of money can just go ahead and buy the camera and rent it. But then I listened to a few interviews, read a few RH in the RHP, and right now I'm decently positive on the company. Maybe I'll just start with a few pointers. Today I don't have a big list of everything. I've written just pointers which I feel about both my companies which I'm covering. So as I said, the company is engaged in the business of renting cameras and peripheral equipments. तो कैमरा भी रेंट करती है और लेंस भी रेंट करती है. और जो ये रेंटिंग पे करती है वो मेजरली जो अपने रियलिटी शोज होते हैं उनको रेंट करते हैं, और जो वेब सीरीज होती है उनको रेंट करते हैं. सो अभी जैसे कपिल शर्मा शो चल रहा है सीजन 3, जो नेटफ्लिक्स पे आता है, उस पे इनके कैमराज यूज होते हैं. जो अभी ट्रेटर्स सीजन चल रहा है उसमें इनके कैमराज यूज होते हैं. सो मोस्टली रियलिटी, तो उनमें रियलिटी में क्या होता है, प्रोडक्शन हाउस के पास टाइट टाइमलाइंस होती हैं कि हमें 2 महीने में ये शो खत्म करना है. सो दे डोंट वांट एनीथिंग टू गो ऑफ. तो उसमें क्या होता है, ये कैमरास इनसे हायर करते हैं. एंड दीज कैमरास डोंट गो अलोन, दे ऑल्सो हैव अ टेक्निकल पर्सन विच गोज विद दीज कैमरास, क्योंकि ये जो कैमरास है ये दीज आर वेरी स्पेशलाइज्ड, एक्सपेंसिव, राइट. डीएसएलआर से लेके ये महंगे महंगे सेटअप भी होते हैं इसमें. सो द आइडिया इज इन दैट नेटवर्क रिलेशनशिप एंड जस्ट बीइंग एबल द कन्वीनियंस ऑफ डूइंग थिंग्स, क्योंकि इनके साथ टेक्निकल टीम जाती है, ये लोग जुड़े हुए हैं. सो एंड इट्स अ रनिंग मॉडल where the production house के लिए इतना कैमराज लेना is very expensive, right? So they will always continue to rent these cameras going forward as well. So it kind of is a win-win for everyone in the segment. इनने आज तक 150 क्लाइंट सर्व किए हैं. प्रमोटर्स वेरी सीजन, लाइक ही हैड सम 30 years of work ex in the industry. काम किया हुआ है एंड 20-22 years से कैमराज रेंट कर रहे हैं. इससे पहले 3 साल पहले तक, इसलिए 2022 दिख रहा है इनका ऑपरेशन, क्योंकि 3 साल पहले तक प्रोप्राइटरशिप थी, आई थिंक, या तो एलएलपी थी. देन दे हैव कन्वर्टेड इट टू अ प्राइवेट लिमिटेड 3 years बैक. दैट्स व्हाई द कंपनी में कुछ तो रीस्टेटमेंट है. सो जैसा मैंने बताया कि कैमरास रेंट करते हैं, 150 क्लाइंट्स को सर्व कर चुके हैं. एक एट एनी मोमेंट ऑफ टाइम 20 to 25 क्लाइंट्स को सर्व करते हैं. एंड जो ड्यूरेशन रहता है दैट चेंजेस फ्रॉम लेट्स से 3 months, किसी के लिए होता है, किसी के लिए 1 month होता है. अगेन दैट डिपेंड्स ऑन व्हाट इज द रिक्वायरमेंट. जैसे अब कपिल शर्मा शो भी, इट्स अ रियलिटी शो एंड ऑफ द डे, राइट. इट नीड्स टू बी मेड एवरी डे, इन एंड आउट फॉर अ सर्टेन शेड्यूल. सो इसलिए वो इससे रेंट पे ले लेते हैं. दैट इज द गुड पार्ट. Then the second good part, which is about financials, phenomenal financials. Like the company is doing 77% EBITDA, which is insane, right? But that's the whole point. Like if you are able to have great utilization on your equipments, अगर आप यूटिलाइजेशन अच्छा निकालोगे रेंटल का, तो आपका नंबर बढ़िया अच्छा लगेगा. अगर आप यूटिलाइजेशन नहीं कर पाओगे, मतलब आपने ले लिया कैमरा और उसको यूज नहीं कर पाओगे, तो आपका नंबर अच्छा नहीं दिखेगा. बट since they are able to fully utilize, they have like insane revenue and are able to get great EBITDA as well. 77% EBITDA मार्जिन पे कंपनी ऑपरेट करती है, क्योंकि इनका मोस्टली कॉस्ट क्या है, मोस्टली कॉस्ट जाएगा डेप्रिसिएशन में, राइट. क्योंकि इन पे इक्विपमेंट है जिनको ये लाइक रेंट करते हैं, तो वो इक्विपमेंट लेने का कॉस्ट है जितना भी है, करेक्ट. सो जैसे इनका डेप्रिसिएशन आप देखोगे तो अराउंड 12 CR का डेप्रिसिएशन है बुक्स पे. एक बार मैं फाइनेंशियल्स की बात कर लेता हूं ताकि उससे आइडिया लग जाएगा. सो कंपनी ने FY23 में अराउंड 7 करोड़ का रेवेन्यू किया था. उसके बाद इनका वो जो मर्जर है वो हो गया, तो FY24 में 23 करोड़ का रेवेन्यू किया एंड FY25 में 37 करोड़ का रेवेन्यू किया है. तो 37 करोड़ में से EBITDA 28 करोड़ की है, जिसमें से पैट जो है वो 10 CR ही है. और अगर आप देखोगे पिछले साल के मुकाबले, पिछले साल 23 CR का रेवेन्यू था, उस पर भी 10 करोड़ का पैट था. इस बार 37 हो गया, तो भी पैट 10 ही है. तो आपको लगेगा कि पैट कांस्टेंट है, बट बेसिकली क्या हुआ है कि 12 CR का उनपे डेप्रिसिएशन बढ़ गया है, बिकॉज उनने अपनी जो रिलेटेड एंटिटीज है उन सबको इसमें रीस्टेट करके कंसोलिडेट कर दिया है. So this is how the business looks like right now. A few negative things per se which I feel, बहुत ज्यादा डेप्थ है बिजनेस पे, एंड क्योंकि 80 CR टाइप का इन्हें इक्विपमेंट लिया हुआ है और उसको सर्विस करते रहते हैं, विच माइट नॉट बी दैट बिग ऑफ अ डेप्थ, क्योंकि बिजनेस चलता रहता है कंपैरेटिवली. सो it will continue to do well, but having said that, it's something which one needs to keep in mind when investing in this business. Second thing, मेरे को ऐसा लगता है कि again like ProFX, the segment in itself is niche. Like when you are buying into a company IPO, especially at a SME stage, you are looking for explosive growth, right? But इसमें क्या है कि जो प्रोडक्शन हाउसेज हैं उनके ऑलरेडी टाई अप्स हैं, तो वो उनके साथ ही काम करते आ रहे हैं. सो जो एडिशनल ग्रोथ होगी ना, उसका पेस थोड़ा सा कंपैरेटिवली स्लो होगा. although he did mention that they are primarily operating out of Bombay, Mumbai and Delhi right now, and have plans to go to Hyderabad and other regional areas in the future. But again, I feel कि वहां पे उनके अलग tie-ups होंगे, right? So to be able to crack those tie-ups is question mark right now. Then he also mentioned that Jio Hotstar का भी merger हो गया है, so उसकी वजह से अब like जो delays हो रहे थे वो खत्म हो गए, अब shows बनेंगे, which I believe is true. But अगर दो तीन competitors होते ना तो that industry is always good for the vendors. बट अगर कंसोलिडेशन हो जाता है तो क्योंकि एक ही प्लेयर है आपको, तो जो आपका कस्टमर है, मतलब जो आपका सप्लायर है उस इंडस्ट्री में जो टॉप लीडर है, उसके लिए उसका बार्गेनिंग पावर बढ़ जाता है, राइट? क्योंकि उसको पता है कि जियो हॉटस्टार को कि मुझे ही देना है इसको. सो आई फील दैट इफ एनीथिंग इज बैड बिकॉज द नंबर्स वुड टेक अ हिट, राइट? एंड ऑफ द डे इट इज अ कॉम्पिटिटिव बिजनेस, राइट? But it is something which is there, very niche business. I'll be frank, I was not positive on the company when I had read it at a high level. But now that I've understood the business, I kind of feel that this is a good business, will continue to do well, and is coming in cheap, right? End of the day, like 12 के पीई पे आ रहा है FY25 पे, अगर आप पीई भी देखोगे तो. और अगर ईवी बिड्डा पे देखोगे तो और भी बेटर है. ऑल्दो ईवी बिड्डा आई डोंट नो इफ वी शुड यूज और नॉट, बिकॉज डेप्रिसिएशन ज्यादा है तो कर भी सकते हैं. बट एंड ऑफ द डे इट्स अ गुड बिजनेस, सॉलिड बिजनेस. आई फील आईपीओ के लिए तो आई विल अप्लाई, बट आई एम नॉट श्योर ऑन वेदर आई विल hold it for longer period or not. One thing in the back of my mind is also Greatex. I somehow don't understand Greatex that well as much as like, जैसे इसमें भी एक अलग एंगल है. मैंने कभी भी आज तक नहीं देखा कि मार्केट मेकर के पास 25% ऑफ फ्लोट हो. I have always seen market maker keep 5% of the float. In this issue, they have 25% of the float. So how would that impact? I am not sure. Like Paramount Die भी मेरे को याद है उनने पहले दिन बल्क डील करके लिया था. So again, maybe that angle is coming, which shouldn't, right? Ideally, if a company has to do well, it will do well irrespective of the LM. I agree, but somehow I'm not getting that comfort for the longer duration. I'm still tentative, but definitely apply at least at the IPO price for listing gains per se. So I'll be definitely applying to this issue. I'll be putting in detail lots of everything Ellenbury, which I have got all the written. I was not lucky to be able to get an allotment there, तो वो सब मैं इसमें डालूंगा. Anchor book ठीक है. There are a few decent names in it which I like. So I do not think this should list at discount ever. Like never say never, but the chances of discount listing are pretty minimum here. I think allotment should be slightly liberal. Like should be easier, not liberal. Should be easier because there's this third SME which people would be probably going towards. But yeah, that is what my review of moving media entertainment is. It's a lot better than what I had assumed it would turn out to be when I was reading about the company. That's why I not even mentioned it in the subject of the space per se. But yeah, Rohit, Yash, you guys have anything to add on moving media, or we can kind of close it?
I'll just add one thing. I also very quickly looked at the numbers. I think just to try and get a sense of their growth, they did about, I think they had about 60 crore of assets on their books, specifically the equipment, which is the cameras and so on, that generated almost 40 crore revenue. I think they're adding another 25 crore or so of equipment from the IPO. So subject to having demand for that probably means they can add another 10 to 15 crore of revenue for this year. Is that a fair estimate? Whatever 37 they've done, they can probably take it to 50 for this year. Is that a reasonable guess?
So there was this one interview available where he did try and ask him that what is the trajectory of growth. He did mention saying that we will try and continue the trajectory that we have grown at, and obviously we are adding equipment, right? तो हम equipment add कर रहे हैं तो revenue बढ़ना चाहिए. But he didn't give a exact direction of what that number would look like. But like if you have to believe what he's saying, and obviously like he's buying, by the way I didn't cover this I think, तो majorly जो IPO proceeds हैं 40 CR का raise है, 43 CR का, उसमें से mostly is going towards buying equipment. Around 22 CR के वो equipment खरीद रहे हैं जो फिर से रेंट पे देंगे 25 CR के. So that should add to what your new pad revenue coming in, and then that should essentially just add to bottom line as well. And then in terms of like the uh, debt as well, they are reducing their debt by 10 CR, so that should also add like a 1 CR goodness to bottom line. अब इसमें दो पॉइंटर्स थे. एक तो दे आर नॉट रिटायरिंग देयर हाई इंटरेस्ट रेट डेप्थ, लाइक 15-16% वाली एक डेप्थ है जो प्राइवेटली हुई है. दे आर नॉट रिटायरिंग दैट राइट नाउ. दे आर रिटायरिंग अदर डेप्थ विच वाज स्लाइटली कंसर्निंग, बट ही सेड वो शायद खत्म ही हो जाएगी बाय दिसंबर और समथिंग. सो आई डिडंट अंडरस्टैंड इट fully, but that was one pointer which needs to be kept in mind.
Got it. Yeah, I think overall looks like a very cheap bet. Let's see
Yeah.
if it can goes under the radar. Can take a chance.
Yes, exactly. Although I feel इसमें अच्छा GMP है तो ये अच्छा भरेगा भी honestly, क्योंकि but let's see. Plus एक और चीज जो मुझे अच्छी लगी इस बिजनेस की साइड, while the cameras still have like 5 year life period, lenses का 24-25 साल लाइफ पीरियड होती है. तो तुमने लेंस एक बार ले लिया तो इट विल कंटिन्यू टू सर्व यू एज अ हॉर्स ऑन एंड ऑन एंड ऑन. कैमराज आपको चेंज करते रहने पड़ेंगे. सो दिस इज अ बिजनेस विच विल need constant fund infusion, but since the EBITDA margins are so healthy, like they will be able to put in that capital as and when it comes out. So I feel कि उसमें वो इशू नहीं आएगा एटलीस्ट कि तुमको बार बार प्रेफ करना है, वर्किंग कैपिटल इतना फंस रहा है. देयर लाइक क्योंकि कंपनीज जो प्रोडक्शन हाउसेज हैं उनके साथ भी ये रेगुलर वेंडर हैं, तो वर्किंग कैपिटल भी इतना एक मैनेज साइकिल हो गया है फील. तो इसलिए दैट शुड ऑल्सो बी अ गुड पार्ट फॉर द बिजनेस.
Yeah, generally, I think rental companies, they will fund with debt. You take a little bit of equity upfront, and then as you keep growing, you will fund with debt only. Whatever I have seen, say furniture rental and many of these other kinds of rental businesses. And they actually, you were mentioning about EV EBITDA. Generally, they do get valued on EV EBITDA. It looks pretty cheap, 6 times. पता नहीं देखते हैं SME में कुछ भी चलता है. But yeah, it looks like again something that we can take a risk on.
Yeah, for sure. I also feel very positive. Like I will be applying to this company as well. ProFX, I think I'll be going slightly lighter. This one I would want to secure allotment hopefully. Then there's this third company which is closing, Ace Alpha. I haven't read the company in much detail, but there's this review available by Raj Stock Watch, which you guys can look at. Our review was also pretty similar. Like ये वो issue है जिसका price बाद में corrigendum file होके change हुआ था. It had came in at $105 and then the price was changed to 69 or something. पहले OFS था वो फिर हटा दिया था. Then the company wants to build proprietary trading softwares, I believe, but there are a lot of open questions. I haven't personally done my like research on this to be able to have an opinion, but I would probably be skipping the issue or applying only and only solely with the idea of flipping it. Is what my review on Ace Alpha is. Rohit, Yash, you have anything to add on Ace Alpha, or we can close tomorrow's three SMEs and move to tomorrow's main board?
I have nothing to add. I don't understand the GMP. It's something, I really want to know what the story is, why they cut the price and then why the GMP is simply just reflecting that old price anyway. So it just doesn't make any sense.
Yep, there are more questions than answers on that one. So skipping it. And then there was a question, why are you guys skipping it? Also because we haven't planned to read it क्योंकि एक साथ इतनी SMEs थी कि it was difficult to read all of them, right? So we had not planned to pick it up. And ProFX, because we are also always looking at कि यार कौन सा IPO लगा सकते हैं जिसमें allotment chances better होंगे. Because of which we read ProFX, so उसकी वजह से it just made sense to cover it. Versus AS Alpha doesn't seem that interesting to be able to read as well. Plus, from knowing the markets, it would be crazy subscribed. No matter what happens, WhatsApp पे कौन सी images आ जाएं, क्या हो जाए, people will look at GMP and go apply. Like it's a chicken and egg problem, right? You want what you can't get. and you don't want what you are easily getting. So I still think this will be very heavily subscribed, so I will probably be avoiding the issue. उसके बाद एक वेलेंसिया करके कंपनी है जो कल बंद हो रही है, अगेन अवॉइडिंग द इशू. उस पे ऑलरेडी थ्रेड्स हैं and nobody is talking about that as well, so we are good with that. Maybe we will move forward and talk about the third company, and we are running short on time. We have been doing it very slow, so let me try and pick up pace. The third company we'll be talking about is Indogulf Crop Sciences. Incorporated in 1993, the company is engaged in manufacturing crop protection products, plant nutrients, and biologicals in India. Its product portfolio includes plant nutrients, crop protection products, and biologics. Setting up the IPO, 200 crore का IPO है, 200 CR IPO, 160 CR is a fresh issue. Market cap of 701 crores. So the company is diluting like 30%. FY24 रेवेन्यू फाइनेंशियल दिए हुए हैं, क्योंकि FY25 पूरे नहीं होंगे आई बिलीव. Revenue of 555 crores, PAT of 28 crores, so like 4.5% PAT margin, very low PAT margin business. But they're coming at like 285 or 26ish PE. FY24, FY25 पे समझते हैं. In terms of the LMs, I haven't seen this LM before. Systematics Corporate. So with that, Yash, do you want to go ahead and talk about Indogulf Crop Sciences?
Yes. So Indogulf Crop Sciences is engaged in manufacturing of crop protection products, plant nutrients, and biologicals in India. They're catering to both domestic markets and international markets. They started their operations in 1993 and currently operate in these three business verticals only, which are crop protection, plant nutrients, and biological. So the company is one of the very early indigenous manufacturers of two of the very technical products with the highest minimum purity, which is 97 and 96.5%. Their product portfolio spans a wide range of formulation, which includes water dispersible granules, suspension concentrates, capsule suspensions, ultra low volumes, emulsions in water, soluble granules, etc. These products are available in powder, granule, and liquid forms and are designed to address various agro needs across cereals, pulses, and oil seeds and fiber crops, etc. So their main, the three product portfolios or the three segments which they operate in, the plant nutrients, which specially manufactures the specialty fertilizers, biostimulants, and performance products, which includes straight fertilizers and soil health products to enhance the soil fertility and stimulate the root growth and improve the crop yields. The other product portfolio, which is crop protection products, so in which they manufacture insecticides, fungicides, herbicides, and biostimulants to safeguard crops from pests, disease, and weeds, ensuring the healthy growth and productivity. The third one is biologicals. The company offers biostimulants, biofertilizers, which improves crop growth, nutrient uptake, stress tolerance, and overall sustainability. They have products like BioGold, Indoberza, and Indomycoria. They also provide customizable contract manufacturing services and offer a very tailored solution as per their client requirements with their customized formulations. They have over 3 decades of industry experience, very, very adaptable management into evolving the market dynamics. The company currently operates 4 ISO certified manufacturing facility. The first one is in Haryana. The other one is in Jammu and Kashmir. The third one is another, which is Haryana, which came at the same location in 2013. The fourth one is in Haryana, Barswani, and the third one, and the fifth one, they are doing expansion in Sonipat. So, as of 30th April 2025, they have very robust and domestic distribution network. They have presence across 22 states and 3 United Territories. The distribution infrastructure includes 192 institutional business partners, almost 7,000 active distribution domestic distributor, which is B2C, 17 stock depots, and 16 sales and branch offices. Internationally, the company reach to extends to over 34 countries through 143 overseas business partners and ensuring the global product distribution and connectivity across. In terms of the IPO issue, mainly it's 200 crores of issue through IPO, 65 crores is working capital, 14 crores is the new capex, which is a fresh capex for dry flowable facility. This one is located near Sonipat on a 16-acre land. 34 crores is for loan repayment. As of December 31st, their total loan was 206 crores. After paying some loans with the profits, and the remaining debt will be around 140 crores, which will be post issue. IPO expenses will be 12 crores. The rest will be the 40 crores is the OFS, which the promoters and the existing shareholders are taking. The rest will be the general corporate purpose. So let me talk about the impact of the new money which infused through the IPO. So the impact of the debt repayment will be 3 to 4 crores of annual interest saving, which post which their average borrowing cost will come down to, or is 8.5 to 9%. Their historical profit growth is not very exciting to me personally. They are growing at a very low teen percentages. So FY24 top line was 552 crores with a PAT of 28 crores. 9 months December FY25 is sales of 466 crores and PAT of 21 crores, which is close to very similar to FY24 growth. FY23 was 550 crores revenue and 22 crores PAT. Their top line was almost the same in 23-24 due to various reasons like China dumping here in India. Then although their margins picked up due to the change in the split of their products, but the quantifiable growth is very less as per me. So now going forward, what they're trying to do is their main focus is growing into the biological segments, which is very less right now and holds the highest profitability in their brand business. They'll mostly focus in B2C only. So margin going forward, gross margins blended should be around 24ish to 26%. Their brand business is the business where they'll get most of the margins, 41%. These are the gross margins I'm talking about. Another factors which I like is the facility is backward integrated. Their input cost is much low. Their raw material sourcing is very sorted. They're not dependent on Europe or Middle East. 35% is from China, and the 65% is sourced domestically, which ensures that they have less impact with the geopolitical concerns. Their focus area will be biological, as I said earlier, which is the high margin business, and the company is focusing more on these segments. So what happens is their business is mainly, very seasonal. So they mainly have two seasons. One is Kharif and Rabi. Kharif being the primary season, which is where the monsoons and the preparation starts from Jan, Feb. During the Kharif season, they utilize 70 to 80% of their capacity. Then they end their annual utilization to on an average of almost 48 to 52% due to the lean and non-season and the Rabi season. Future growth trajectory, as I said, their main focus will be B2B business and biological nutrients. The new capacity will although start flowing its revenue. One of the main thing which I like is they are very much R&D focused. New product coming in, new formulations like dry flowable gel products, micro emulsion, JC products, and off patented technicals product, which are very niche in this segment. Still, these niche products, although are very R&D focused, but still very low margin kind of businesses. They hold more than 900 registration domestic and overseas, and produce more than 280 products overall. I personally will avoid this issue completely, given the growth is very less. Revenue growth has been very less in the last 2 or 3 years. Even if I remove the flattish growth of 23 to 24, FY23 to FY24, the revenue growth, the average CAGR will come around 11 to 13% historically, which is still less as per my expectations with what I like. Recently, if you see, the industry cycle has been very good. There are many good companies which are already listed, which has shown very, very good demand in their product. So domestic market is growing very rapidly. India has become the second largest exporter and fourth largest producer of agrochemicals globally. So these are the very 2 points which can drive some value. There are very big opportunities available in the nutrient segments, especially about the nutritional value being very less right now, and these biostimulants, which is the biological segment, which carry these nutrients and can increase the overall, uptake of the nutrients. So these are the major industry drivers, and the current monsoon, which is another positive segment. But the negative part is the growth is very less. Debt reduction to me looks very very less too. The PAT margins पे उतना impact I don't think पड़ेगा. FY 26 27 my estimations is close to 33 crores FY 26 and 35 crores FY 27 PAT. तो उस बेस पे I'll mostly avoid this issue, but looks decent अगर किसी का expectation 10-15% revenue growth है तो.
Got it. Yes, you said that we were taking more time, but you also took a lot of time and then ended with what could have been a review saying that, hey, I don't invest in crop and fertilizer companies. But yeah, मैंने भी एक एसएफबी में इन्वेस्ट किया था सीड कंपनी में. उसके बाद मैं सोचा था कि नहीं करेंगे और so with that like it's a easy pass for me also. I'm not going to look at this issue majorly because of a couple of things. One, small size. Second, GMP running. So there should be insane demand like we saw in Globe Civil. So chances would be less. Plus, if I get an allotment, I would not want to hold it for a day, right? For a minute after 9:45. So makes no sense for me want to go and try that. So because of which I would be avoiding. But a couple of things which sounded interesting to me in this company was one majorly the anchor list seemed insane. Like Abacus took half of the anchor list where they like 50% was taken by Abacus, which is the fund of ace investor Sunil Singhania, and then there were another fund which took like 25% and 7% per se. So the anchor list was good, but other than that, also I somehow don't understand the company, and I don't feel like holding on to these crop companies for a long period of time, anyways. So because of which I would be avoiding the company, and it doesn't just the revenue growth doesn't seem exciting to me, and it's a very small issue end of the day on Mainboard. So avoid for me as well. Rohit, I don't think you have read this, right? Or do you happen to have any pointers?
Zero idea, sir.
Okay, no worries. With that, we'll move forward and quickly talk about the fourth company, which is Adcounty. The company is a brand tech company that offers complete digital marketing solutions from brand promotions to performance-based campaigns. The company works with well-known brands such as ShareChat, Zepto, FireMoney, PB Fintech, Policy Bazaar, Paisa Bazaar, etc. So एक डिजिटल मार्केटिंग कंपनी है जो पैसे रेस कर रही है. It's a 51 crores IPO. 51 crores का IPO है, all of which is a fresh issue. Market cap 191 crores है. So they are diluting like close to 28%, which is like around the bare minimum number. FY 25 financials की बात करूं तो इन्होंने 70 crores का top line किया है, 14 crores का bottom line किया है. So they are coming at like 14 PE, which seems cheap, like at least at the PE level. In terms of the LM is Nanolia. Again, not the best, not the worst. So somewhere in between. So let's try and understand about Adcounty. Should be a quick review. I promise I'll not take a lot of time on this one. But when I had read this company, इसका moving media से एकदम opposite था. I was very interested in this company, and then probably slowly and gradually I started to lose interest per se. So एक बार quickly बता देता हूँ कंपनी क्या करती है. डिजिटल मार्केटिंग सर्विसेज प्रोवाइड करती है. जो भी जैसे मनी कंट्रोल खोला आपने, राइट? तो मनी कंट्रोल पे खोला तो उसमें बैनर एड्स वगैरह होते हैं, राइट? सो दीज बैनर एड्स बेसिकली गूगल सेल्स टू दीज एजेंसीज, जैसे इंटरेक्टिव वगैरह हो गए, वो एजेंसीज परचेज कर लेती हैं और फिर उन एजेंट्स के साथ क्लाइंट्स काम करते हैं. जैसे जेप्टो होगा, वो बोलेगा कि भाई यहाँ मेरी ऐड डालो, लोग आएंगे तो कहाँ पे कौन सी ऐड आनी चाहिए. फाइनेंशियल सर्विसेज पे जैसे म्यूचुअल फंड वाला बोलेगा मेरी ऐड डालो. सो ऑल ऑफ दीज थिंग्स आर डन बाय दिस कंपनी, ट्राइज एंड गिव्स देम अ सुइट ऑफ डिजिटल मार्केटिंग सर्विसेज, और उसमें अलग अलग प्रकार के हो सकते हैं. जैसे जेप्टो हो गया, सो जेप्टो के लिए इट कैन बी कॉस्ट पर इंस्टॉल कि तुमने कितनी ऐप इंस्टॉल करा ली उसका लेट्स से XYZ चार्ज ले लो. कोई एक हो सकता है जो बस बोले कॉस्ट पर 1000 इम्प्रेशंस तुम मुझे इतना कॉस्ट दे दूंगा. आई थिंक इट्स कॉल्ड CPM, कैन बी रॉन्ग, कॉस्ट पर मिलियन इम्प्रेशंस और समथिंग लाइक दैट. और उसके अलावा भी बहुत सारे हो सकते हैं, राइट. जैसे कॉस्ट पर क्लिक हो सकता है एक मेट्रिक की. अगर जैसे कोई रियल एस्टेट बिल्डर है उसको ऐड करना है तो वो कैसे पैसे देगा कि भाई कितने लोग एक्चुअली मेरी ऐड खोलेंगे इंस्टाग्राम पे वगैरह, तो क्लिक के हिसाब से कितने कॉस्ट, उतना कॉस्ट आएगा. कॉस्ट पर एक्विजिशन वुड बी कि कितने कन्वर्ट होते हैं. सो देयर आर डिफरेंट मेट्रिक्स थ्रू विच दीज गाइस पे. बट मोस्ट ऑफ दीज आर एसेंशली कि एक बीच में एजेंसी बैठी होगी जिससे गूगल से जिनने ये ले लिया है प्लेसमेंट ऑन ऑल दीज वेबसाइट्स, राइट. क्योंकि जैसे वेबसाइट है मनी कंट्रोल, आपने खोला तो उस पर इतने हिट्स आ रहे हैं रोज, तो वहां पे जो एड्स दिख रहे हैं, दीज गाइस सेल दीज फॉर इंडिविजुअल क्लाइंट्स एंड देन earn the arbitrage in between. Like they have very healthy margins of like let's say 20 to 25%. In terms of the clients, they work with like big ad agencies like Interactive and then also work with direct clients like Zepto, like Policy Bazaar. Policy Bazaar इनका बहुत बड़ा client है, which is good, right? Then in terms of the revenue, let me quickly talk about revenue. इनका FY23 में 53 crores revenue था. FY24 में which came down to 43 and then has went up to 670 crores again in FY25. This is a question which we had asked management as well and is being asked कि इनका revenue क्यों कम हुआ था. Because इनका client Byju's था उस time पे, and Byju's was one of their major clients and they stopped working for Byju's because of Byju's going through all of that financial distress. So while they tried and figured out which the next client is, they kind of save their revenue because of which went down. So it kind of seems like a good enough reason. So अगर आप उसको ignore मार दोगे तो the company has been growing, right, at a decent pace. 53 है, उसके बाद 43 हुआ तो इस बार वापस से उन्होंने 70 crores कर लिया. So because of which the business is growing in a growing trajectory. पैट देखोगे तो पैट भी 7 crores था, फिर 8 हुआ, अभी 14 है. So at 14p it's coming at like let's say somewhere around I think 14p if I'm not wrong, yeah. Because 191 crores का valuation तो 14p पे आ रहा है, so visibly cheap. But I'll tell you what the problems are. I have a few problems with the business which I realized while I was still reading more into it. One, they have shown their peer as Apple. Apple end of the day is a platform. वो platform है तो लोग उसको as a SaaS यूज करते हैं. This guy is just a agency. ये agency है तो इसमें कोई मोट नहीं है या फिर stickiness नहीं है कि आदमी इस platform को यूज करके कोई काम कर रहा है. This can be replaced by another agency, I feel. तो इसलिए इसका it shouldn't be compared to Apple which is like at 71p. This guy is nowhere close to it is what I feel. Second, what I felt from talking, from attending the pre-IPO meet was that they lacked the technical expertise to be able to build a lot of new products. Personally, it's a naive opinion because I also don't understand DM as much as I would have wanted to. But I don't feel they have a lot of products in pipeline, but they're still questionable to me. Then a major thing for me, which I don't like, is the conflict of interest. Almost all the promoters have a conflict of interest, have another entity which is in the same business. The listed promoter entity, Innovana, is also in the same business. So there are a lot of related party transactions. In fact, trade receivable भी खड़े हैं business पे around 10 CR related parties से. So it just doesn't give that much confidence in the books. The books don't seem super clean. Which I would have wanted, which if they were, I would have wanted to invest in this business, but it just seems that the more I try and read into it, the more it just becomes more murky. Like on top, it looked like a very good business, but somehow something doesn't sit well with me, because of which I would probably be like skipping slash since HDB का पैसा free हो रहा होगा, I'll still see whether Adcounty or Neetu Yoshi after Yash talks about Neetu Yoshi, but I'm not super excited about Adcounty because end of the day it's an agency, right? उसमें मेरे को वो मोट नहीं दिख रहा. They did mention कि उनके पास कोई तो गूगल से इम्पेलमेंट है जिससे वो डायरेक्ट कुछ 150 लोगों के पास ही है इंडिया में वो इम्पेलमेंट, तो किसी को भी काम कराना है तो उन्हीं से कराना पड़ेगा. I didn't understand that fully, so maybe I'm not that technically sound enough, but at least I understand the balance sheet part of it, which I don't like. The kind of related party transactions, the kind of trade receivables on the books, conflict of interest. So it just doesn't give me that confidence right now. So I'm leaning more towards just applying for listing gains slash avoiding the issue as of now. I know, Rohit, you had also attended this company, right? So anything that you feel I missed?
See, how a company like this would be valued are two extremes. One is what Affle is, which is it's an actual marketing tech company where they create platforms, provide software, they sell a SaaS product. And the other extreme is you are a media buying company, which is you buy media placements and then you sell that media placement to your client and make an arbitrage in between or a commission in between. These guys from the call definitely today are the latter. They are just another media buying company. They are just an execution machine. So they work with the large media agencies, say WPP or whatever, Publicis Group, these guys. They will need people to execute some of the campaigns for them. And these guys today are one of these execution partners. That to me is a very, very low mode business. There's nothing. There are thousands of agencies that do this. Their story that they were trying to say and that comes out in the deck that has been circulating is that they have some 5 different products that they want to build, which are products that would compete with some of the products that Affle is building. And every one of them has anywhere from 8 months to 1 year of development and lead time to even go live. So if they do that, maybe if the market gets visibility into it a little bit down the line, that will start getting factored in. And maybe by the time the products come, the market might value it in a different level. But today, it's really just a promise of something in the future with like nearly a year of development time left. So today as an agency, it is not exciting. Innovana has done really well in the SME segment. They are 20-30% shareholder here. So, and a promoter group entity. So therefore there will be decent interest, but yeah, it's not, I personally will not be touching this right now. I'll see after 6 months, 8 months, if there's clarity on the actual product that they're doing, the product piece, then there is a slightly different play here. Otherwise it looks unexciting.
Got it. Yeah, that is with respect to Adcounty. Maybe with that, we'll quickly move forward to the next company, which is Neetu Yoshi Limited. Again, this has been doing the rounds for a long period of time, was long due. Incorporated into 2020, the company is engaged in business of manufacturing customized products in different grades of ferrous metallurgical products, and it is an RDSO certified vendor for Indian Railways. Just setting up the IPO, बड़ा IPO है, 77 crores का IPO है, all of which is a fresh issue. It's coming at a market cap of 291 crores, so around 300 crores पे 75 crores का raise है, so 26-28%, whatever is the minimum needed. FY24 की फाइनेंशियल्स की बात करूँ क्योंकि 25 पूरे नहीं होंगे. 47 crores का टॉप लाइन है, 12.5 crores का बॉटम लाइन है. So at least at FY24 it's coming at 23-24 PE, but FY25 and probably FY26 or TTM multiple would be a better read. In terms of LM Horizon Management Services, which is done not so great in the past, is how I'll kind of want to introduce the LM. So with that, maybe Yash, do you want to go ahead and talk about Neetu Yoshi?
So Neetu Yoshi is a engineering company which manufactures critical components for railways. Their products includes mild steel, graphite iron, cast iron, and manganese steel. The company is RDSO certified, which supplies 25 plus critical safety spare parts for Indian Railways. Their facility is accredited with ISO. They hold Class A RDSO certified established certification. Their manufacturing facility spans over 7,173 square feet with a annual capacity of 8,087 metric ton per annum. They have in-house testing and precision engineering facility. They make products for bogies, they made product for wagons, which includes CPA assemblies, wedges, brake beams. Then there is axles. Then there is sticker castings, backstops, various type of liners, etc. Their manufacturing facility, as I said, is close to 8,087 metric ton right now. Last year it was 4,100 ton, which includes 3 induction furnaces of close to 5,000 metric ton and 1 arc furnace too. Their production capacity is almost fully utilized as of now. I think 80% they are utilizing right now. They have orders. They have an order book of 105 crores, which they plan to completely execute this year only. Their IPO side is close to 80 crores with 50 crores of capital expenditure for the new plants. From 50 crores, 10 crores is for building and 40 crores is for plant and machinery. The expected ROI for the project for the new capacity is almost 200 crores. So the current capacity will be maxed out at 120 crores of potential in top line. The new capacity which is coming again is a very similar facility, more into CNC machining and advanced machining capabilities. That will again at a 80%, 90%, 80 to 90% utilization will add another 120 and 125ish crores of revenue. So at peak revenue potential, the company should scale to 230 to 40 crores revenue. Uh, One of the major questions during their IPO shows and the management calls were the key drivers of their profitability, as it was very much higher. So concluding my own thoughts and what I have gathered from the management meets, the first one is the tax benefit. The tax benefit under Section 115 BAB of government allows them to pay only 15% tax plus 2.5% of tax, which is a total of 17.5% tax compared to 25% which is paid by the competitors. Their cost savings is much higher on the sand procurement. As per them, 1.5 rupees per kg is saved on the sand procurement because their manufacturing facility is very close to Allahabad, near River Ganga, from where they source their sand procurement. Then their raw material procurement is also very close to the railway, the place from which all these guys source their scrap from. They approximately save 4 rupees per kg, and they're also buying the ferro alloys separately. So टू सेक्शंस होते हैं, एक तो स्क्रैप आ जाता है एंड देन देयर इज द फेरोलॉइज व्हिच दे एक्चुअली नीड. तो वो रेलवे के ही जंक यार्ड से स्क्रैप पिकअप करते हैं. तो मोस्ट ऑफ द जो सेट ऑफ उनको अलॉय चाहिए होता है इज मोस्टली इन द सेम वन, जिसमें उनको फोर्ज करके मेल्ट करके जो प्रोसेस अपना करना होता है. देन देर वेरी लेस लेबर इंटेंसिव, आई विल से, जो उनका मैन्युफैक्चरिंग फैसिलिटी था. इट वाज मोस्टली ऑटोमेटिक हाई प्रेशर मोल्डिंग लाइंस एंड सीएनसी मशीनिंग विद अ वेरी लेस लेबर इंटेंसिव फोकस. लेबर्स थे उनके पास. देन देयर इज जो उनकी लेथ मशीन्स थी विच इज यूज्ड बिफोर द एक्चुअल सीएनसी इज यूज्ड, वो भी उसमें भी देयर इज वेरी लेस वर्क. मोस्टली वो सारा काम सीएनसी वीएमसी एंड टर्निंग मिलिंग पे होता है. तो मार्जिन गोइंग फॉरवर्ड्स, management is quoting that it should increase going forward because they are moving into the high value products. I have slightly different view. I don't think if they're moving into the wagon manufacturing and 60%, 70% of the cost is bogies and couplers, and I don't think their margins should expand. Overall, I feel that it should converge somewhere down the line, जहाँ पे मतलब 20s 18-19% टाइप ऑफ मार्जिन फिर भी मान सकते हैं, बट ऐसा तो नहीं हो सकता 26-27% मार्जिन पे दिल कंटिन्यू. जो नया कानपुर का फैसिलिटी उनका लाइव होगा, उसमें मंथली कैपेसिटी होगा क्लोज टू 130 मेट्रिक टन्स का, जिसमें एज आई सेड projected revenue should be more than 200 crores. In terms of the sector is very hot. Specific numbers का बात करूं तो current order book is 105 crores. Last 9 months का revenue is 51 crores. PAT of 12 crores till December. EBITDA of 32%. नया capex कर रहे हैं, नया plant आ रहा है. Procurement में scrap का saving होता है 4 रुपए per kilo. सैंड का सेविंग होता है 1.5 रुपीज पर केजी, विच इज क्लोज टू 5.5 रुपीज पर केजी. जो नया प्रोडक्ट इनका आ रहा है उसका एवरेज सेलिंग प्राइस इज मच हायर, 250 रुपीज पर केजी. करंट सेलिंग प्राइस इज 120 रुपीज पर केजी, इन विच 70 to 75 rupees per kg is what their operating costs are, right? So overall looks a very decent issue. I think this is a very big issue, so I have a feeling that this will not open very high, but I think should do good in long term.
Got it. Thanks, Yash. Thank you for covering the issue in detail क्योंकि I'm sure आपने anticipate किया होगा कि भाई PAT margins क्यों हैं, what is happening, why is EBITDA margin like almost close to 30-35% per se. But yeah, thank you for covering it in advance. My question is कि इसमें ये है क्या कि कैपेसिटी कब तक फुलफिल होगी 200 CR की, कब तक कैपेसिटी लाइव होगी
सी
एंड कब
उनका
तक यूज
कैपेसिटी
होगी?
लाइव हो
बिकॉज
जाएगा दिसंबर तक. द प्रॉब्लम है कि जब वो कैपेसिटी लाइव होता है तो इवन इफ यू आर एन सर्टिफाइड मतलब इवन इफ यू आर सर्टिफाइड फ्रॉम आरडीएसओ, जो आपका नया फैसिलिटी होता है वो आपको दोबारा से सर्टिफाई कराना पड़ता है, विच विल अगेन टेक 3 to 4 months. तो जो April 25 to April 26 से ही आप पकड़ के चलो नया कैपेसिटी चालू होगा. वन मोर थिंग विच आई फॉरगॉट टू मेंशन इज कि ये जो कैपेसिटी है ये तो नया कैपेसिटी लाइव हो रहा है, बट जो क्या कहते हैं इनका करंट कैपेसिटी है इन हरिद्वार, उसके साइड में देर इज वन मोर ब्राउनफील्ड एक्सपेंशन विच दे हैव डन, विच शुड कम लाइव दिस ईयर, जिसके एडिशन से इवन इफ द करंट कैपेसिटी they utilize at 80%, they can still clock 110-120 crores of revenue in FY26. And I'm not sure if this is mentioned in RHP, but yeah.
Got it. So if they are able to do that, it's an insanely cheap company, right? अगर हम माने कि चलो EBITDA margin कम होंगे, let's
See,
say वो जो
I
सैंड
also
वाले
have one
आपने
issue
रीजन
कि
बताया.
if their margins are so
हम्म,
sustainable, why don't they bring the full year? Why just bring 9 months?
हम्म, हम्म.
I don't want a shocker in my portfolio कि 9 महीने का तो अच्छा दिखाया, फिर दिन full year दिखाया तो margins गायब हो गए.
बट अगर मार्जिन कम भी हो गया तो भी बिजनेस तो सस्ता
Yes,
ही
yes,
है,
yes,
राइट? एट
yes, yes, yes.
आईपीओ प्राइस,
That is
आई एम
why I'm
सेइंग
more
एट आईपीओ
inclined
प्राइस.
towards buying it for a long-term view.
And like leave alone what is happening on listing, but at least at IPO price, it's a very cheap business that way, right? Like even if you assume that the margins would come down to like let's say 18-19%, so your PAT margin will come down further. But then also if you are able to do 110 CR, then and considering the valuations which this sector is getting, it's at a cheap valuation, right? My question is कि इसका peer कौन होगा? Like who do you think would be a good peer? Would Cosmics, Kalyanis of the world be a good peer
See,
to this? Or do you think?
if they are eventually trying into getting into wagon manufacturing, then they're end of the day competing with Kalyani and Cosmic only. But right now, with the current product portfolio that they have, their main competitor is Atul Engineering, which is not listed entity. And I think Rohit Bhai shared his P&L and balance sheet with the same kind of EBITDA margins if you account for the tax benefit that they get. So
Got it. एक और क्वेश्चन है मेरा टैक्स बेनिफिट पे, इज इट परपेचुअल? लाइक वो जीवन भर मिलेगा टैक्स बेनिफिट?
I don't have much clarity on it yet.
Got it. Because it just seems like from what I've seen, rebates are usually given for a certain period of time, right? Like under startup scheme, etc. Like you get 5 years of tax benefit or something like that. Perpetual, I don't know how that will sit. Mm, okay. I still have questions on this issue, but again, from what I can read, it seems like a cheap issue to me. Like the company is cheap at IPO price, I would be applying into this. Like I'll be applying now that ad count is out of the way. This seems like the only issue, and I feel this would be very heavily subscribed as well. It has a GMP going for it as well. But yeah, I would be applying to this. Rohit, you have any thoughts on this business?
No, I think it's been covered. I think just the I saw this Atul Engineering ka EBITDA that gave comfort. There's one more Frontier Alloy Steel. So these are both actually shared by Sachin, whom I think many of you guys probably follow on Twitter. Also posts quite a lot of reviews and con calls. So he had dug up both of these companies ka P&Ls and both operate at a 30% EBITDA. So this is not unusual for Neetu Yoshi to have a 30% EBITDA. And those are like, I think Frontier is like a 500 crore revenue company with this EBITDA. So Neetu Yoshi is like a fraction of that. So there's still scope for it to grow and maintain its EBITDA.
Got it. Any idea on the anchor list? I had seen it seemed good to me, like at a high level. Anything which stood out for in the anchor list? There are quite a few funds, by the way, 15 funds. So it seems that this issue had demand going for it, right?
I think their anchor book was 4 times subscribed.
Got it. Which is again a good sign, right? So again, I would be applying to this issue. We'll see. We'll probably cover more as and when more information comes out. But for now, this seems like a good issue considering it's a RDSO Class A approved vendor. RDSO license by itself is a very difficult license to get from my understanding because it involves a lot of safety checks and then just being able to work with government officials on their terms, which is a lot of A and B for the lack of a better word. So to be able to get RDSO approved vendor license, it's a decent enough deal. So with that, with the kind of P it is coming at, even if PAT margin goes down, I feel at IPO price, the kind of discount, the kind of risk that you're taking is well worth it. So with that view, I would be applying that to this issue. You do you. But yeah, with that, we have covered this company and we'll quickly move forward and cover one last company for the day because we are running super short on time. We'll talk about Pushpa Jewelers. So just setting up the company incorporated in 2009. The company is a jewelry manufacturer specializing in lightweight 22 karat designs. It offers diverse high quality jewelry including necklaces, rings, earrings, bangles, bracelets, pendants, Mangalsutra and kadas. Reminds me of Utsav of the world when I say that. In terms of the IPO, it's a big IPO, 100 CR IPO, 74 crores fresh, 25 crores OFS. So बड़ा OFS भी है इसमें. 100 करोड़ का IPO है, 25 crores OFS है. Market cap 356 crores पे कंपनी IPO लाई है. 350 crores पे 100 crores dilute कर रहे हैं overall. So decent, like 30% type का ही dilution है. But it's a big IPO. FY25 financials की बात करूं तो 281 crores का revenue किया था.
It's coming at around 15-16 times.
And in terms of the LM is Affinity Global. So with that, maybe you want to go ahead and talk about it.
Yeah, I'll try to keep this quick. So this, like you said, is a 98 crore issue, pretty large. And if I'm not mistaken, it is higher than it was initially supposed to come at. And I'm hearing some different reasons for why that's the case. So what do? They are a B2B manufacturer of what their USP, what they claim is they make lightweight gold jewelry. So if you take a design, for that design, they will make it lighter than anyone else because of their capability, their design capabilities. They focus on 22 karat gold jewelry. So let's say there is a heavy work necklace which would cost 50-60 grams from a competitor. They say they can make it in 20 to 25 grams. Again, this I'm just paraphrasing what the promoter said. There's no way for us to really cross check this, but that's how they stand out in the market. They do everything from designing to getting it manufactured, to job work, to marketing, and then selling it. But at the end of it, they are a core B2B business, which means they will then sell it on to typically a mid or small size retailer, across the country. They primarily sell to South India, which is where majority of anyway jewelry sales happens. I think about 90% of the business is the southern 4 states, and they are southern 5 states, and one good thing is they're largely selling to the end retailer and not to any other distributor in between. So the share of the distributor, like if they were to sell it to another middleman, has come down continuously, and just selling to the final retailer has gone up to almost 80% now of their revenue just comes to that final retailer, which is good for margins. And that is what the promoter says helps in keeping their margins very high, because they eliminate that other distributor, and they have these local teams in many of these South Indian geographies that allows them to, skip that other middleman. They also do a very small amount of export. Promoter is saying this is something they want to increase, but ultimately he says, jewelry market to India's king. So like I said, there's a proper B2B business. Their promoter is very marketing savvy. He knows how to speak very well. You will hear a lot of MBA words whenever one is when you listen to interviews and when you read the RHP itself. Solution-driven relationship building, corrective and preventive action, AI-fueled lead management. So there's a lot of funky, fun words and fun phrases you will see in the RHP. Make of that what you will. I found it a little too much, like it's all about process, and it's one thing to say things about process, but it's another to keep hammering it over and over and over. So I got a little turned off by that, honestly, but whatever, others may find it's the right thing to do. It's definitely the right thing as a business to do all of these things. It's just about how you kind of communicate it. The numbers are decent. Again, it might be too good to be true. They operate at an almost 8% PAT margin, which is abnormal for a B2B jewelry business. The only other one that has a high PAT margin is RBZ, which operates at about 7%. And that also they have a retail store. So the retail business contributes to their margins being higher. Whereas this is pure 100% B2B business. So the margins honestly did not make sense to me. Just, if you look at a Sky Gold or if you look at an Utsav, they operate in the 4%, 5% kind of PAT margin, which is the norm. So again, promoter is given his reasons for it. It may be true. And he's in fact saying it will get even better next year. So let's see. They're raising money mainly for working capital, but 45 crore is for working capital, which is understandable. They are opening a new showroom to go with the 4 that they have. So that requires inventory and so on. Plus, one thing is they want to grow next year very fast. So if you look at this year, they did about 280 crore. Last year, they did about 250 crore. So that is not a lot, but they are projecting almost 75% year-on-year growth. Like I said, nowadays in RHPs, people are just straight away giving their number, the revenue number for next year. If you read the fine print, they're saying they'll do 480 to 490 crore next year. And then another 30% year-on-year growth from there. So the growth, at least, that they're promising is something SME investors should like, subject to them, of course, executing it. Their PAT, like I mentioned, 22 crore is very high in my view. It's a little hard to believe. It looks like they've squeezed out whatever they can for this year, just because their top line was not that good. But they've managed to show good bottom line to make sure their fundraise, I feel that it's just to get them a good valuation. It's coming at 16 times. There is an RBZ, which is a very, very high quality B2B jeweler that trades at 15 times and is not getting any multiple. The ones that are getting multiples are actually the lower margin ones, interestingly. They are the ones who trade at slightly 25 to 30 times multiple. I am overall net neutral, maybe slightly negative only. I don't know if this can really be managed to list at a premium. Maybe it will do well in some time as they deliver and as they actually do good numbers. Maybe it'll do well. I don't know if it will list that well. So given the size, I'm kind of tentative about this and maybe we'll skip only unless something changes last minute. As such, company seemed okay, but couldn't find that. It's missing that X factor that is needed to say that this business, everything sort of checks the box. So despite it being a large size issue, it will list well. That X factor is missing in my view. So I'm finding this a little risky.
Got it. I also, from what I could see, the PAT margin seemed very high to me at a high level for a B2B business. But as you said, that guidance मांगने की जरूरत नहीं है investors को. Now they're giving guidance outright in the PPM. So if they're able to in the DRHP, so if they're able to do anything close to that, it's a cheap issue as well. But it's a big issue end of the day, 99 CR issue. And बहुत बड़ा OFS भी है. Plus and again, I don't want to typically stereotype companies, but end of the day, the company is coming as a Kolkata-based company, which the promoters tend to be slightly more cautious towards. So maybe that will also play in. So at least the allotment chances would be very good here, but I am very doubtful on the listing capability. So maybe I will look at this company post listing only is what my point of view is as well. इसकी anchor list कब आनी है? Anything on the anchor list?
I think I saw this Planify is there, no, that unlisted shares wala business. Inka SME fund has taken a position. I think it's probably their first anchor. There was one more Avora or something that I had not really seen before. The others were more normal SME anchors. But these were the two new names.
Tell me something. How's the anchor book just 14 crores? If let's say it's a 99 crore issue, right? End of the day. So shouldn't the anchor portion ideally be larger? Like anchor portion usually कितना होता है?
I think it goes up to 30%. यहाँ पे 23% है शायद. QIB is 40%.
14 CR है अगर, so it's not even 99
Oh,
CR.
sorry. I'm seeing the wrong one. Hold on 1 second. देखता हूँ.
So it's like
QIB पे हाँ it's 1433 1433 ठीक है. I think it is generally like this. I mean that anchor QIB can change here. QIB is still like overall it is 50%, 48-49%. उसमें mix is such that anchor is 14 and QIB is 30. Normally QIB will be like 20% and anchor will be 30%, 27,
Because
28%.
they
So it
would,
is lesser than normal.
because it just shows demand, right? People want to subscribe to it, so you're just giving away the max you can as anchor, which should be not be available, right? तो इसमें ये भी इशू होगा कि 99 CR में से बहुत बड़ा float would be available on day one itself, right? Like
Correct. Higher than
for
normal.
selling.
Probably
It is
10-12 crore extra.
Yeah, so it just shows that there's not enough demand for the issue as well, right? If you think about it that way.
Let me see what is our Neetu Yoshi ka 4x subscribed. Let me see what that is. उसमें 27%. उसमें anchor is 27%. So clearly there
So
is.
yeah, it's like half of that, right? Like 13% hai. So it just gives you an indication that probably not all is well, right? Or there are questions still to be answered.
Yes, I am not. Again, I'm a little. Manish has already said Kolkata hai, तो वो भी risk है. So yeah, overall looking a little dicey. At least in the short term, it looks dicey. Then let's see over time whether this king can catch up if they do deliver their numbers. I just feel that something is missing in this issue for listing.
Got it. Yeah, with that, we have covered the last issue as well, which is Pushpa Jewelers. Just seeing what's the timeline going forward, what are other issues that we are currently missing. So, a Crisac Limited करके company है, which is opening on 2nd. So, it will also close on Friday the 4th. I don't think we'll be doing a review for it because again, it was too soon to do a review right now. There wasn't much read available into the company, but we'll be posting as and when at least Tanmay would for sure be posting. We'll also see if we want to post about that company and definitely be on the lookout for that. And then there were four more companies, in fact, Silky Overseas, Siddhar Textile, Mark Lawyer Fashions and Vandan Foods, which are opening on 30th and will close on 2nd, which is again this week itself. But not covering them as well. I think, Rohit, you were saying Silky Overseas seemed slightly decent, but you were worried about the sector, right?
I forgot what I was worried about, but yeah, it looked cheap. But I mean, yeah, textiles I've seen historically textiles, both the Sansera textile and SME can do jack shit. So maybe better to avoid. I think both of these have also seen a lot of promoter interviews suddenly in the last 2-3 days. There have been live promoter interviews. There have been bunch of recorded interviews also, which is good. It is good that there is some exposure to what the company actually does. But from whatever I could listen, little bit, neither really excited me personally. So I don't intend to apply or buy or hold any of those companies. We're not reviewing them because of probably lack of time also, but you guys can at least look at the promoter interviews and make your own minds up. And you won't have to rely on our reviews at least because there's more information online.
Got it. Yeah, that is what was with respect to today's review. Definitely go ahead and read your companies at your own time, and then we will hopefully see you back next week. In the meanwhile, one last thing, if you haven't joined the YouTube channel, go ahead and do that. उसके अलावा मैंने OFS वाला जो वीडियो है वो भी पिन कर दिया है. If you are a premium member, go ahead and share your view. I have tried to put in as many examples as possible. I have taken a couple of screenshots of last OFS while I was still bidding for them. So let me know how you find it. We will try to do more on our premium side and we'll try and see how we can add value. But yeah, with that, we'll kind of end today's space and we will see you guys hopefully next week again. Have a good one. Bye.
Thanks everyone.